Hello everybody, here we are today doing my CFL Week 2 picks, and before we get started with that, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or the CFL, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So Week 1 did not go very well for me as I went 1-3. Yeah, that's going to happen. There's going to be some weeks maybe I go 0 for 4, but the thing is, this is all for fun and to talk about the league. So with it kind of being thrown out there, let's talk about the first game of the week, which is Winnipeg traveling over to Ottawa. Got to be honest here, this kind of feels like it could be a trap game as the Blue Bombers are dealing with some injuries at the start of this game. Kenny Lawler and then Brady Oliveira are set to miss, so the offense could deal with some potential issues from that. But on the good news here for Winnipeg is the fact that Adam Bighill set to return, so the defense might be in a better spot. But again, this trap game kind of feels like it could be a trap because Ottawa is coming off of a bye and had an extra week to prepare for Winnipeg. Now, looking at this, I think a lot of people would still say, oh, Winnipeg is a team that's gone to the Grey Cup 4 straight years, and then Ottawa has been one of the worst teams in the league over the past 4 seasons. That is true. However, Ottawa looks like they could be a lot better as you have Drew Brown, quarterback Jeremiah Mazzoli, and him could battle it out for that one spot. Then you have Dominic Rhymes coming in. You have, of course, guys like Hardy and Ackland as well. And they could see an offense that looks a lot better as over the past few years. The offense has been pretty bad. Now, looking at this, I think I'm going to go the boring route here and say Winnipeg wins, mainly because they are going to be really motivated. They don't want to go 0-2, and they should have better team chemistry than what Ottawa has. But if Ottawa is able to get a win here, it's going to be really fun. I think the first 3 games, especially for Ottawa, are going to be very important as they play Winnipeg twice to see how this offense could do. If the offense does well against this group for Winnipeg, maybe this is going to be kind of a good year for them, maybe a great year. We'll see. Now, the second game of the week also feels like a trap as you have the Montreal Alouettes, and they are going to be traveling to Edmonton to play the Elks. Now, looking at this, you have the Grey Cup champion against one of the worst teams in the league from last year as Edmonton went 4-14. But in Week 1, Montreal did make a statement against Winnipeg. However, they also lost Reggie Stubblefield to an injury for the year. And Edmonton played pretty well. This team feels like they could be a lot better this year. McLeod Bethel-Thompson had a good game. And until relatively late into the game, into the fourth quarter, the Elks probably should have beat the Rough Riders. Now they know that they can't allow big plays, obvious, and then they can't have turnovers, which were kind of an issue in that game. The Alouettes' offense is a concern, and then the defense as well. They're going to be able to contain the Elks and what they're able to do in Week 1. Follow that up with Week 2, where they're going to be motivated to try to get a win at home. That remains to be seen. This one also feels like a game that maybe Edmonton is going to be able to pull out a victory. But I got to be honest here, at the end of the day, I'm going to try to play it safe after being a little bit risky last week or still going 1-3. I'm picking the Grey Cup champs here, the defending Grey Cup champs, the Montreal Alouettes. But if Edmonton wins this one, I wouldn't say that I'd be surprised. And then the third game of the week is Calgary traveling over to BC as the Lions host the Stampeders. This one should be a fun one as you have the Stampeders trying to get revenge over the past few years with BC being able to get over them in the playoffs. Now, Calgary is 1-0. BC is 0-1 as they lost last week to the Toronto Argonauts. And the big storyline here will be whether or not the offensive line will be able to contain what Calgary is able to do, as BC allowed 6 sacks in the first game against Toronto. And then I think another big storyline here would be, a lot of people, including myself, that the Lions should be the 2 seed out west at the very least, and Calgary could be a French playoff team. If Calgary goes 2-0 and picks up a win over BC, again, that kind of works out perfectly as you have you going up and then BC continuing to stay down. And I don't exactly know if that's going to be something that continues to be a problem in the coming weeks. But yeah, I think the Lions are a side that's going to be really motivated to bounce back from a tough loss to the Argos last week. And in this game, again, I'm going to be conservative here. Say the Lions win, but if Calgary wins this one, as a BC fan, I'd be pretty frustrated. Happy for Calgary to be able to take advantage of a team that's down and out, but hoping for the best, expecting the worst. And then this final game is going to be a doozy as you have the Saskatchewan Roughriders traveling over to Hamilton to play the Tiger Cats. I'm not exactly sure how this one will play out, and I don't even know what I put for the group chat that we have where we post our picks on Instagram. This game is going to be really weird as Hamilton had some bad penalties in their first game against the Stampeders. And then Levi Mitchell didn't have a game that was incredibly great for the first start, and that is where you're looking and saying, well, how will Saskatchewan do? How will the Tiger Cats be able to contain Sean Bain Jr. as he had 3 touchdowns and 125 receiving yards in that game against Edmonton. And both of these teams are, of course, searching for a victory. Hamilton looking to get their first one. The Saskatchewan Roughriders looking to get their second one. They want to be able to hold the ground, especially if Calgary is able to go out there and pick up another victory. Assuming that BC is able to go out there and eventually claim the second spot or the first spot in the West, I don't exactly think that this one is going to be heavily in Saskatchewan's favor, as the Elks nearly beat them and they were able to play a comeback, but Hamilton as well underperformed in recent years, and you got to wonder a little bit if this is going to be a game that would be weird where it ended in a tie or something like that. I think I'm going to go Saskatchewan for this one, but I don't really feel confident in that at all. Alrighty, so when we realized that all that is said and done, we realized that I picked the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Montreal Alouettes, the BC Lions, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Kind of a toss-up here, as I picked some teams to win on the road, I picked some teams to win at home, I picked some games where I think it could be a trap, and it's going to be a fun one in the CFL, and at the very least, I hope it's entertaining. In a perfect world, I go 4-0 and the Lions pick up a victory this week, but if not, it's going to be okay. Anyway, what are your thoughts for week 2 in the CFL? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe, and have a great night.